I will notice people doing exercises in running shoes. That's not running. And this could be a potentially really bad thing. So if right now you are somebody who uses running shoes in the gym, you're going to want to listen up till the end of this section, because this is going to change your mind 100% about the shoes you wear in the gym. So should you lift weights in running shoes? When it comes to leg exercises, we want to think about what would give us the most ability to produce power and strength and force through the ground. And the way we can produce the most power, strength, and force is with a flat and stable surface, okay? A flat and stable surface. And this will keep us balanced. It has minimal instability. And with that, you are able to literally put every ounce of your force, if you think of your foot, through the ground equally, right? Now, running shoes are basically the complete opposite. They are usually pretty cushy. They're kind of unbalanced. You know, sometimes they're so cushy they actually are like mini balance pads where they're kind of wobbling if you walk on them. And they provide stability to some degree when you're running, kind of in your arches. But in a weightlifting session, this is not the best thing. Not the best thing at all. It can make it much, much tougher. So I just want you to visualize too, you step into a running shoe and there's, you know, the cushion on it. If you think about it, every time you push down into the ground, if your foot's a little bit to the side, it's going to be pushing the force more through that side of the cushion, because maybe the cushion's naturally kind of leaning you towards one side of the foot or the other. So it can distribute force unequally. So when it comes to stuff like doing squats, lunges, or deadlifts, I would highly recommend to get some shoes that are very flat, ideally minimal, and maybe you even just want to go barefoot. I go barefoot in a lot of my workouts if I'm at home, sometimes at the gym too, during certain things where I know I'm not going to get around people. I will go barefoot as well. But if you don't want to go barefoot, that's totally okay too. There are some flat shoe variations like Chuck Taylor's. I also know certain brands make some pretty flat cross trainer shoes. I've had some Metcons from Nikes for a while, Metcon 3s actually, and they've held up tremendously well. And they're pretty flat. They're not completely flat. They're not like going barefoot, but they're pretty darn flat for the most part. And these shoes, when I do them with squats, lunges, and deadlifts, they provide a stable, firm ground, and I notice that I can boost, myself off the ground doing these exercises with a lot more force. I'm much more forceful. I feel more stable when doing it with these things compared to running shoes. And I have squatted in running shoes before, and it just feels awkward. The second you start squatting barefoot or in other shoes compared to those ones, your life is going to be literally changed. Another great reason behind squatting kind of in barefoot shoes is that your feet and your ankle muscles will get much stronger. As we just discussed with the running shoes, a lot of times those shoes are highly cushioned. And if you think about any type of cushion or any type of thing in your body where you're kind of taking away the natural ability of a joint to hold, you're basically making it weaker. So you're cushioning the joint of the arch of your foot, but in that sense, you're actually making it weaker. So your feet and ankle muscles will get much stronger, which is important for long-term longevity of your joints and tendon and ligament health. So that's really crucial as well. Long story short, lifting weights and running shoes for leg exercises is probably not the best idea, but for arm exercises, running shoes should be okay. They don't or won't affect your stability quite as much when you're doing arm exercises. And when you think about it, that should make sense because most of the arm exercises you do, you're sitting down and just using your arms. So the legs are completely out of it, so that stability aspect doesn't really matter. If you are doing a standing exercise, I would prefer you to have a flat option for your shoe. But of course, at the end of the day, this really does depend on if you want a compound exercise or an isolation exercise of what you are doing. So for example, an overhead press is a compound exercise where you need to be very stable through your core, through your legs, through your arms, all of those different things, right? All of those different things. And the thing about it is if you then take the same person and then do some bicep curls, it doesn't really matter because your stability, you're really only working your biceps in that sense. And, you have a lot less to lose on safety and overall power and strength when you're doing those curls. So running shoes, I'd probably invest in some new shoes that are a little bit flatter. They will greatly help you in your workouts. But at the end of the day, if you can't afford them yet, you can just try going barefoot too. That's a good option to see if it works out for you. So go ahead and let me know down in the comments what shoes you lift in. I'm really curious. And maybe you have some Metcons like me. Those things are awesome. Had them for years.